Welcome back to the Dynamic Duo Presents, you know the fucking drill. As you can see, we have some more special guests. As we've seen before, we've got Chosen Skywalker. This time, we've got Darius Calzerian. And ironically, this is the second time I'm appearing on the channel. So send him some love, because he is the Cinnamamba. But anyway, as usual, we got Danny Vader in the corner. Who cares
about that? Danny's my father?
Every week, you know.
That's right, my boy. Don't just blame the midichlorians. Blame the midichlorians.
No further comment.
Fair it is. But anyway, so as you can tell by the title of the video, by all of us having light glow sticks again, it is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. So, going forward, we're going to be discussing about the movie. We're going to talk about, does it still hold up? What made it great for when it came out? The special places it has in some of our hearts. And some of us might play a wee bit of devil advocate just to wind up the other boys, but we'll find out soon enough. Anyway, getting straight into it, let's hear from Darius first, because here, the black man always goes first. Go.
Yeah, just like Han shot first, by the way. True. This, full disclosure, this is my favorite movie of all time. Probably always will be. I am a biased person, and I fully admit that, because I love basically everything about this movie. It's even the opening crawl, like it sets the stage. Doesn't give you too much information. Gives you enough, what's going on. Enough. Like I think Adam mentioned this when we were watching it. There is a 3-year time jump from A New Hope. And if you don't pay attention, you're not going to even realize that. Like, the way they tell you is, oh, yeah, Luke and Han are in higher ranks than the Rebels. They've been there for 3 years. You have to really pay attention and notice. Luke's better at his force powers now because he's had 4 years of practice. Like, it's very subtle. There's no 3 years later on the screen. There's no, oh, it's been 3 years since we blew up the Death Star. No, it's all... They trusted you enough to be able to put the pieces together yourself. And if you didn't, you didn't. It's just that simple. And I miss
piggybacking off that as well is the simple fact is that it doesn't also do what new movies do and have a fucking ending, so then it can start off where that just ended, because you know how fun they've been as of late, you know? Every movie has to have one of those.
Every movie has to be one.
It's always got to be one, baby.
Yes. So, Jacob, what about you?
Okay, so... We all know that Revenge of the Sith is my personal favorite Star Wars movie out of the bunch. But if you were to ask me what is the best Star Wars movie, and if there's one movie that you can pick out from the brand to stack up against other movies in that context, like non-franchise movies, just like movies in like films, it's this one. This is the greatest second act I have ever seen. Ever. Every single movie has tried to be this movie ever since it released. Every movie has to have an I am your father moment. And no, the line is not, no, Luke, I am your father. It's no, I am your father. Get it right. Every movie's tried to be it. No movie has succeeded. Everyone's failed because they always try and replicate it instead of doing their own thing. But I really appreciate, and we were talking about this as the movie wrapped up, how when the movie ends, it's 3 years until the next one. So you're left with this uncertainty, like, oh my God, what's going to happen with Han? Is he dead? Are we going to see him again? Luke's journey, he's just found out that the biggest, baddest guy in the galaxy is his dad. Shout out to you, Danny. Is his dad, you know? Like, imagine, what does that say about him? You know, the lessons and the learning that he goes on, and that Leia is now more involved, and they have that little exchange that we don't talk about till the next movie addresses it. You know, and then Lando's involved and all that kind of stuff. But just the way it ended and the way the movie just builds and builds and builds, that all hope is lost kind of thing. How are the heroes going to get out of this? And it's such a rare thing to have a movie that leaves you with this taste in your mouth now. To where it's like you care what's happening to the character. You care, like you give a shit. Like if the characters die, you care. If the characters live, you also care. And I think that the stakes as the movie goes on, no scene is wasted. Even the scene when Han and Leia are on the Falcon and they're hiding, and then the Minox attack them. You'd think, what purpose does that serve other than they're just hiding from fear of being bombed by the Empire? You know, it's like you really focus on the character relationships, and it does exactly what a second act is supposed to do. There's a very specific ingredient to a second act. It's usually the darkest of the three. For our main protagonist, it's where the heroes face the most growth, where all hope is lost. How do they overcome these obstacles? And movies could learn a thing or two by looking at this one. And like Darius, I am extremely biased, and I'm happily going to admit that. It's the best second act movie ever told.
Well, fair enough, fair enough. Next up is MMA King Chris Jr. Shoot it, bud.
So this movie right here, like, it still holds up. Like, it's one of my favorites too, or whatever. I think, yeah, it's my favorite one out of the OT trilogy. I'm not gonna even much lie. I mean, you know, like I said, New Hope was kind of boring. Return of the Jedi is a little bit more wacky, but this one is a perfect balance. And, like, you know, yeah, man, it's straight to the point when they're like you guys said, like, you know, Luke is like fighting off a Yeti beast or whatever the hell that's is. Whatever a womp is, whatever that. Yeah, like, straight to the point. Like, they're cutting off limbs and stuff like that. I mean, of course, I mean, like you said, Jacob, even when I first met you and Darius, I said, like, you know, listen, why is every movie trying to have this I am your father moment? Like, you can come up with something new. Not every movie needs to do that. So, but yeah, that's basically how I feel about this movie. It's still holds up. I think it's really great. So, you know.
Right. So, last but not least is obviously the Kanan Solo. So, let's get into this. For me, it's still, like, there are things that for me specifically don't hold up, but as a movie from its time, it does. So, what I'm speaking specifically about is some of the CGI scenes look like PS2 characters running about on a wampa, but I'll give it a pass. I'll give it a pass simply because it has to be like that, because that's how they upscale the thing. Even though I can see Chosen Jacob over there trying to, like, not lose his mind, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is.
One question before you carry on. One important question: galaxy-wide stakes. No, it's actually not more of a question. It's more of a statement. I love you.
I know.
Hey.
Anyway, going forward, like,
I was gonna say something, but, like, I didn't want to get canceled
for me. Because when it comes to the story narrative, like, it's a coherent story from beginning to end. Even though, you know, people will go on and on about how, you know, this should have happened, this could have happened, and there's still people out there that love OT that will still, like, argue with certain things. But I don't think anybody's going to argue that Empire Strikes Back is, like, the best one out of the original OT, because let's be real, Return of the Jedi, which you never know, we might end up there, you know, that has got its good moments, but this one is a statement of cinema. Like, if you are into movies, if you're a cinematic buff, this is one of those movies that are always in your top 5. Even if there's new movies that come out that you could argue top it, it's not getting removed off the list for that newer movie, because it's just a testament of what George Lucas was actually decent at when he could actually do things in his own world before, you know, everybody else started bitching and whining about him because he didn't do it the way they liked it.
Even non-Star Wars fans love this one. Like, put this on.
Like, you could be a normie in Star Wars, or, like, not no Star Wars
thing, and they'll still love this one.
I think it's one of the greatest sequels of all time, up there with, like, Godfather Part 2, Terminator 2, all those.
Remember when sequels actually were good and actually meant something? Yeah, me either. Yeah. Because it was this long ago, back in the fucking 70s and 80s, back when sequels were actually decent, and then obviously slightly into the 90s when it came to, like, T2 and things.
And this is also back when trilogies followed a second act formula or a 3-act formula. They don't do that now.
There's about 6 different timelines. There's about 7 different fucking movies that lead into another one. It's getting a bit repetitive entirely.
Bring the trilogy back.
And another thing that I loved about this movie is, I know a lot of people were like, obviously now looking back is a bit jarring when it comes to Yoda, but the one thing I always love about this movie is crackhead Yoda. I'm telling you, the Phantom Menace in this version of Yoda is like, those two look like they could sync up. So to me, that's my continuity. I don't give a crap if they've went back and replaced the old crackhead, you know, puppet in the first one. No, this is my Yoda. He's a crackhead and it's funny.
It's crackhead Yoda. Wow.
Yoda's a troll, bro, and it makes perfect sense. Like, think about it. All the Jedi, the Masters, are trolls. Obi-Wan was a troll. Yoda's a troll.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon was kind of a troll.
I shall do Obi-Wan.
It just runs in the tree of the Jedi. You know,
it's conditioning as part of the training to be a troll first before you imbue them with a lesson.
Once you learn the trolling arts, you're truly a Jedi master. Once you learn how to troll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have fun. We have fun on the Jedi's council. We have parties.
That's why they didn't let Anakin join. It's because he was a whiny. He was whining too much.
To be fair, he did have the snarky comments. He was just too much of a whiny bitch. But we could say that about multiple characters. We could say that about multiple characters. I'm not going to bring them up specifically.
Station to pick up some power converters, and that's better than I hate sand. How?
Oh, off that point, one thing I do like about this movie is Luke's character growth. You can kind of start to see it happening. Like, in this movie, he's very impulsive and he jumps into he's impatient, has a temper, jumps to a lot of. It reminds you of somebody, doesn't it?
Exactly. They knew what they were doing beforehand. That's what I'm saying.
Yep, jumps to a lot of situations head first. But you see him like he's become a leader. He's become a leader now with the rebels. He's getting a better handle on the Force stuff, but he still doesn't know everything. And
and even though he's a leader with the rebels, there's still another lesson to be learned, and there's still more to unfold within himself. It's like you can be a leader of like a whole batch of men, for instance, but at the same time, you still have to learn about yourself. There's another lesson, another journey that he goes on. That's just it's great.
And I love the fact that they had the balls to let their hero be wrong, because he proved Obi-Wan and Yoda right. Like, bro, you shouldn't have gone and saved. You shouldn't have gone to go save Han and Leia. I mean, I get it. Your heart's in the right place. You did what you had to do, but they probably would have been fine with Lando anyway. They probably would have escaped. Anyway.
And I wish we could start coming back to that.
Influence the events. Because even like someone could say, "Oh, what about R2?" Well, R2 just tagged along at the end anyway. Like that's what's so great about it is you could look at it and go, maybe if this happened, Luke could have intervened. But also, it's showing you that even if he was there, not there, that still would have played out the same way without him.
Also, C-3PO got to be a big bag of bolts, which I liked as well. You know, just getting a big backpack.
Anyone who thought about him. So shout out to Chewie.
Chewie's a straight up G in this movie. He's the only one that cares about all the characters. He's
Danny
like, when stuff happens to any character, he's like, no.
Chewie's big homie. Danny knows what I mean. That's
Chewie's the big homie. He's basically like Kilowog from like the DC universe of the Landers.
Well, can I train him?
Right, so I think what we can do next is, what is your favorite scene, guys? We'll start off with Chosen Skywalker this time.
So contrary to the sentence, it's not because everyone always says that one and it gets tiresome. I'm going to go for a slightly different flavor. I'm going to go for the scene, just the scene in question where the Force is with you, young Skywalker, but you are not a Jedi yet. And while we were watching, we actually said how dramatic that is. Like all the lights are dimmed, and then like Vader's like, "Let me just turn the lighting up on this." And like, "Hey, who's your daddy?" Like it's like it's, and then he just goes to town on him, and it's a great scene. And this, to be fair, there's so many scenes in this movie, but that's the one I'll go with.
Cool. Right. So Danny, you're up next up.
I guess it's probably like when Yoda is picking up the X-wing out of the water, man. Like that scene is still always like a motivational scene of, dude, don't give up no matter what. Like, you know, you might be down on your luck. You might be going through some stuff, but you know what? Watch. Just have faith, and it's gonna happen.
So I'm next up on this one, and I'm going to keep on my brand. And my favorite scene is when Yoda is pure just ransacking the Luke stuff. He's just like, what the hell? Why'd you have this for? And starts him beating the shit out of R2-D2. He's just like, what is going on here? So for me, I need to keep on brand with the comedic aspect. And that was like one of the funniest fucking scenes I've seen in a long time. I even forgot he started beating up R2. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that. That's awesome. But
You put
yeah,
the beat
see,
down on
I like more of the comedic scenes as well. Also, like that's the thing as well. This had the greatest balance between like comedic and serious because Yoda can switch it,
it.
and that's what
the
really.
sequel trilogy and lean too far into it, and it didn't do the prequel version where it leaned too much the other way. Like it
Yeah,
had.
exactly. So last up is Cinnamamba. So what was your favorite scene?
It's gonna be another Yoda scene. It's when he's. I love the X-wing scene. It's like because it's a metaphor for life, where like he's basically tells Luke like you only believe like the size of the thing doesn't matter. It's you believe that you can't, so you can't.
Yeah.
You believe you can, you
You
can't.
won't.
It's
You
a
can.
metaphor for life.
Yeah.
You believe it's
Yeah.
impossible. It will always be impossible to you because you believe it is.
Yeah.
The moment you think
Rewrite
it is,
mindset.
it's all a lot. There's a lot of mindset. Like mindset determines a lot. But I also love the scene where he describes like the Force. He's like saying it's like luminous. It binds everything together. He basically like provides an explanation of what the Force is, but he does it in such a way where it's like
Magical.
it feels really magical.
Yeah.
Like they didn't try to like explain it too much and make it like, this is actually how it works. Where this it's like it's an explanation, but it's still mysterious enough where it feels magical.
So, are you saying it's better than the midichlorian scene?
The midichlorians.
I wanted to say that without saying it, but yes. I'm sorry.
I can hear them now. Like you guys obviously don't know. You guys don't know about Star Wars. The midichlorians were stupid.
Also, there's been a little bit of an update to the channel these days. If somebody says something very political, I'm just gonna outright say what they fucking mean.
I don't want the prequel fanboys to think, oh, you hate the prequels. No, I don't. I just don't like this.
Darius, how could you hate the prequels like this? What's wrong with you? Shocking.
No, I just love the way Yoda in general is my favorite Jedi Master. He always will be, just because the way he speaks. He talks about like being in the moment. The way he speaks, the way he does, is because he always uses present tense.
Very Miyagi-esque.
Because he's always in the moment. He's never in the future.
All his life, he looked away.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta focus on the now, not the future or the past, just the now.
Yeah.
Just the now.
Needed that.
Everything else take care of itself.
Also, when it comes to this movie as well, like I don't know how you boys feel about this, but like Dagobah is one of those planets that I think is an actual really good location for Luke to train, because so many people, right, when it goes into the other prequel movies and even further on, they get a bit too planet heavy. They go to like 60 planets like every movie after this, and it's like, well, like
the other problem side of that is all the planets look the same. They're all sand.
Yeah. How many goddamn desert planets do we
have? How many? Like, just go back to Tatooine. Do we need Tatooine, Jakku, Pisana? Like, do we really?
You also gotta love the fact that they made a planet similar to Hoth, but in the style of the Death Star, because that was clearly amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like, Kajimi was cool.
But I agree. Like, we actually get to spend time on Dagobah, and like, so actually, like. And
Adam, you said something really interesting as we were watching it as well, that in essence of hiding, Yoda goes to a Sith planet.
Yep.
Yeah.
He goes to a Sith planet, so one, the Darksiders can't sense his obviously Force powers, and second of all, he gets an all-you-can-eat buffet of frogs. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Well, think about this.
It's weird. Eh? They never eat anything normal. It's always like frogs or some like death sticks. You know, it's something along those lines.
You got any death sticks? You don't want to sell me death sticks.
Maybe that's why Yoda was so strong in this movie. Maybe he just went and got some death sticks before he left. Maybe
I have a question for all you guys. So, would you guys agree that this movie had the more of a horror aspect to Star Wars or whatever? Like, it just felt like more horror scenes.
Like, Revenge of the Sith has its moments, but Empire Strikes Back tonally, like, it has just moments. Like, you know, Darius, when you said when like Vader's like when Luke's looking for Vader and then Vader just comes out and everyone goes bang, like, and turns his fucking like breathing off and he's like swings for him. Like, I said this, that if this wasn't a family oriented franchise, Vader down a hallway rated 15, I'm running the other way. Like, nah, that dude's terrifying.
That's some Michael Myers shit right there, not gonna lie. And Darius, what are you gonna say?
Even the whole tone of the movie, like, if you think something, the whole movie is a chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie is just running away because they lost the battle at Hoth. It's just running away. Like, there's a sense of like dread,
tension.
because even though the Empire lost in the last movie, the point of this movie is to show the Empire isn't fucking around. Like they're upset that they lost, so they're like, nah, we gotta let them know.
They lost that.
We gotta get it back. We gotta get that. We gotta get that look back. We gotta get it back. Like we gotta make a statement to let you know what happens when you try to mess with us.
Original Battlefront 2 campaign, but the Tamora Morrison voiceover for when they went to Hoth was like, it didn't matter how freezing it was, our blood ran hot with like the taste of revenge. Like that's the mindset that the soldiers went to Hoth with. It's like, yeah, we're getting our own back on this.
You gotta remember, that Star was bad. It needed to be destroyed, obviously. I mean, this is not me apologizing for them, but those guys might have had comrades and stuff that were on the Death Star when Luke blew it up. I'm just saying, Luke didn't kill like
typical David works a 9 to 5 shift at the Death Star to provide for his family. Innocent man, bang.
Yeah, obviously, like
obviously people forget about that in Star Wars.
Obviously, people like Tarkin and like the Imperial officers, they had to go. They're evil, obviously. Even the average stormtrooper. But like, what about the technicians and like mechanics and
the technical stuff?
I love Robot Chicken for bringing that up, man. Like it's just like Dave the technician sitting there trying to fix something, and he just gets blown up. Like, what the hell?
It's basically what they're talking about off of Clerks 1, like like how the plumbing.
Like, that's the thing, right? Like as much as we love these characters, right? Let's be real, right? Could you just imagine being some like low level stormtrooper that didn't want to be a stormtrooper? You got taken by a child and forced into this life, and you're just like, that dude's got a fucking glow sword. Well, how the fuck am I going to defeat this guy? And
it's like,
Whoa, or you're one of Vader's dude. You imagine this: you're in the Empire. You went to your Imperial Academy. You rose up the ranks.
No,
it's
a metaphor for life if you think about it, though, because it's like you progress up the company ladder until a bigger boss just goes chokes you up.
Yeah, you do everything right, but you fuck up one time.
The
best pilot, the best pilot in the galaxy gets away from you. Han Solo, the best pilot in the galaxy, gets away from you. Not really your fault, but Vader. He kills you just because, like,
it's like that's. He says, "What's your name again? My name is Bob."
I do like was sitting in his chamber the whole time, and Danny, while watching it, you're like, man, Vader's just chilling, watching the pod races.
You know
you imagine that? He's actually sitting there playing a little pod racing game in secret. Like, it's like little Annie.
You know what I think they should have done? You see how they done that undercover boss thing with Kylo Ren? I think they should have done one with Darth Vader because that'd be fucking hilarious, man. Can you imagine that?
Racing games and stuff like in Revenge of the Sith when Anakin's holding like a thing and he puts it down on the seat. That's probably a PSP.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen edits.
I was gonna tell
birds and stuff. And like
I'm trying to think. What was I gonna say? Like, yeah, Anakin. I mean, well, Darth Vader was basically in his room just chilling. He like, man, I'm about to go ahead get these pod races in, man. Let me go ahead roll them dice, man. Let's go. Let's go, boy.
Sebulba over the game chat. He's like, hey, Sebulba, do you remember me?
He's like, what? I'm checking my parlays, bro. What are you talking? Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
He's chatting with Sebulba over the PlayStation.
Do you ever wonder? Did Anakin ever apologize to Boba for Django's death because of Mace Windu? Could you imagine that conversation? Yeah. Like Darth Vader's walking up, just like, sorry about your dad, by the way, but I can if you need your help.
Could you just imagine that he's a pod racing game and he's talking to Sebulba of all people over the PlayStation, and then he's like, I remember you.
You stole my race from me. He's like, yeah. Stop being a bitch. Like,
I know where you live. The Empire could be there in a few rotations.
They're sitting him for the game, just like, shut up, Sebulba.
No, dude. Could you just imagine like Vader's facing some kid against the galaxy, and he like trash talks Vader and beats him in a game? He says like,
I know
he's like, you know what?
You got Zoom? Have you got Skype? Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you IRL.
He says like, what planet are you? What planet are you on again? I'm in so and so sector. Like, Hey, I need you guys to go to this sector to, go handle a little kid. Like,
we got him.
His gamer tag is Slayspoon55.
Youngling 56. Youngling Slayer 60.
Somebody's got their name as Padme Amidala Slammer. He's like, what the fuck? Somebody go get at it.
And then the doctor's like, hang on, Padme's midichlorians have increased dramatically.
It's like it's just or like another gamer tag is dad not booty and everything like.
Oh god.
You know the planet that Padme goes to when she's giving birth is called Polis Massa. There's a Polis Mash. I can't say it. I got
Wow.
But now, let's get back on topic with this movie anyway. When it comes to like this movie, another thing that I did really like was like Mr. Ban Solo himself, Ban Solo, is getting a lot more screen time in this one because ironically he didn't want to be in it, but George was like, "No, you don't want to be in it. I'm going to give you 60 times more screen time."
You need to be involved because you're part of the story. You need to be involved.
This
I think I don't have to listen to you. You know that? Yeah, that's right. But I'm in charge of Indiana Jones.
I think
Money talks.
This is Han at his best for sure. It's like he's
Mm-hmm.
like, I love when he's trying to get the Falcon started and he just fucking hits it.
He's like,
it's like
you could tell that Han is like really matured over those 3 years. He's taking more things seriously. He cares about people a little bit more, not that much more, but a little bit more. Like
to be fair, like I feel sorry for Han in this movie because he's just basically the dad.
Yeah,
he's just what the fuck are you all doing? Like fucking back here.
Han is like he's a guy who says one thing and does another. He keeps saying, "You have to go pay Jabba. I have to go pay Jabba." He has it's been 3 years. He's had so many chances to leave and go pay Jabba.
He doesn't want to.
But he does. He
loves the people.
Just
loves
want
people.
He loves Leia.
And that's called character growth.
Luke's his homie, and he believes in the fight. He believes he's what they're
he's
now.
Grown. And to his credit, like I know, obviously, we know him pulling up on Vader. He's not gonna. We know, but the fact that he was like, he didn't even hesitate. He was like, he heard the breeze. He saw him. He's like, all right, bang, 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 bang. Didn't even flinch.
Mm-hmm.
I love how I don't know which one of you guys was it, but like you guys were saying like, I wonder how long Darth Vader was there, like sitting in that chair, like waiting for everybody. Like,
could you imagine seeing like a prep scene for that, and it's just Vader sat there for like 2 hours? He's like, what the fuck
didn't one of you guys say it was like when your dad meets the boyfriend for the first time? Yeah. It's like there's a funny deleted scene of them sitting down and eating dinner, and Vader's the only one who can't, and he just chokes someone because he can't eat.
Dude, could you just imagine like
he just throws a plate?
Could you imagine Darth Vader like just like waiting for them, and then like he has like a flashback of him and Padme like him playing with the fruit with her or whatever like
that actually wouldn't. That could have worked. But then just imagine he's sitting there for like an hour, and he's like,
"What am I going to say?
What are you doing? I've been here for an hour."
He's like, "What am I going to say?"
And Boba Fett's like, "Hey, at least you're sitting down. I'm stood behind this wall. I haven't moved from my dramatic entrance yet."
Yeah. Or like Palpatine calls him up like, "Yo, Beta, what's going on, buddy?" and everything.
Use the power of the dark side.
I liked about like the parodies of like Robot Chicken because like they done what logically makes sense. He's just sat there for like hours, just being like, "Where the fuck are these people? Like, how long does it take them to travel, man? And like they're the best pilots in the world, and they're still taking this long. God damn it, man!"
Could you just imagine like Vader's getting a call from Palpatine and like Palpatine's playing golf on another planet? Vader, how long have you been waiting for this Han Solo kid? Like, I need you to go blow up a planet in the next couple of hours. Like,
no, he doesn't even phone him up to blow up a planet. He's like, Vader, I need you to come shine my shoes. What's taking you so long?
It's like,
Vader, where's my goddamn coffee? Where's my coffee, Vader? Damn.
Where's my moisture?
Where's my moisture?
Where's my de-aging cream?
The de-aging cream, the one that, because you know what, not to go back to this movie, but like,
oh gosh,
like you guys remember on Rogue One how like the rebels got away like after Darth Vader basically missed them for like a couple of seconds, and then he was like looking at the ship. He said like, Oh, damn, Palpatine's gonna be pissed at me. Like, shit, like, god damn it, like, I got rid of that info.
The Death Star plans, Vader.
Can I also point out, right? This is what I love about the stupidity of the sequel trilogy, right? By this point back, the tanks exist. So why the fuck is Palpatine not went in there to fix his goddamn face?
Well, I'll sum it up like this with 2 sentences, okay? First being somehow Palpatine returned, and secondly, they fly now, because jetpacks never existed in Star Wars. So it's like the sequels just kind of pretend nothing really happened before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so bizarre. It's like, if you think about it logically with the context now, it's like Palpatine's running about with a fucked up face for no reason.
I will say this, though. One of you guys mentioned it briefly earlier on.
Why didn't you just fix your fucking face? Like, it's been 20 years.
This movie has one of my favorite scenes in the whole franchise, and it's when Luke disappears. And I know we played it for jokes of like, oh, you know, where the hell did you go back? I just gave you a great offer. But it says so much when Vader's like choking people the whole movie, and then Luke disappears, looks, double take, looks again, doesn't say anything, no words. You don't need to read his face to know what he's feeling, and he just walks away. And everyone's looking at him like, what? And you can sort of like use that moment to go, hey, behind that mask, yeah, that's a broken man. He's probably upset. Like that.
You can always argue that when he's behind that mask in that moment, he wasn't Vader. He was Anakin being like, my kid just fucking ditched me. How dare he?
That's the first glimpse of like Anakin. Because
that's some humanity in him.
That's his last. If anything, that's his last hope at humanity.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially by this point, because what else doesn't have anything. Just his anger.
Exactly.
So Luke is like sensitive of the fact that there's a second chance. Like,
because Vader at this point, he's saying like, okay, all right, I don't like my boss. I really don't like the Empire. The only people that I do know is my 2 kids, and they don't like me. So like, can you help your daddy out? Can you like give your daddy a hug, please? Like, come on, man.
Father and son.
Yeah.
It's like,
it'd be like Danny asking me the question and me going, "I'll never join you."
it's like, oh man, why? Because I'm black or something? What's wrong? Like, you know, like.
Oh my father!
Like to think Vader's trying to manipulate Luke with the whole.
I have some questions because you're like 4 years older than me. Yeah.
I think Vader was being genuine when he was like, "Yeah, we overthrow the Emperor," because he never liked Palpatine to begin with.
Yeah,
Even without the prior context of the prequels, like if we were to go off the context of the prequels, Padme and everything, Palpatine sold him a lie and all that kind of stuff. But if you're just focusing specifically on the OT, he's like, okay, I have an opportunity here to stop serving this. So just focusing on the OT, no prequels, no Padme, nothing, just specifically OT. I have an opportunity here to overthrow that overgrown testicle that I have to be subservient to. Let's kick him out. We can do things our way. Father and son, you know? Crease and Robbie.
At this point, he still don't know he has a daughter yet.
Yeah.
So to be fair, just another thing that needs to be brought up is ironic. There's a lot of scenes in this, if you know, that don't work continuity wise now, because in the next movie they just retcon a bunch of shit just for the sake of doing it.
That's next week.
That's a next week problem.
So we are reaching near the end because it has been going on a while. But as we always do, there's going to be a little post-credit scene. So next up on the channel, there will be Death Star 2.0. Will there be a Chosen? Will there be a Darius? Will there be Danny trying not to blow up another Death Star?
Dad, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna ask you this before we leave, because are there gonna be vicious like terrorizing teddy bears that are gonna take over the earth that are cannibals?
Yes, there shall be. And ironically speaking, right? I wonder, right? You see, like with the certain scene at the end of that movie, right? And obviously people becoming ghosts and things, right? What happened to the burnt crisp skin? I'm just saying, they like to eat things. I'm just saying. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, so
family franchise.
Yeah, anyway. But anyway, I have been Kanan Wolf. That's been Cinnamamba, Chosen Skywalker, link in the channel. to his channel. You know,
Thank you. And everyone give a massive shout out to Adam for bringing us on, and Danny as well. Make sure you subscribe to this channel to see their latest ongoings, and you'll see Darius in and around the little universe. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
If you want to head over to Jacob's channel, you'll see Kings of Pop Culture, where we speak about all things pop culture related, not just one specific thing. And you will get to see a bunch of laughs. You'll get to see a bunch of jokes. You'll get to see nuanced takes.
And Chris.
And Chris, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving forward. And that has been MMA King Chris Jr. and Darius. And we shall see you guys in the next video.
Execute.
Subscribe.
66.